I am here to help you learn the things that I didn't know and I wish I would have known before I invested into Bali. I love investing into Bali. I love the whole idea of having multiple homes around the world. So I would love to have other people in this journey doing the same things and having multiple homes in Bali, around the world, if this floats your boat. And this podcast is there to just help you navigate the Bali opportunity. We are moving on to the conversation about the permits, the PBG and the SLF, because there's a lot of confusion about what's the real difference between the PBG and SLF. And just to give you guys an indication, like to get your property legitimately on Airbnb, it was discussed before that you must actually have permit that makes the building safe and allowed to do whatever it is that you intend to do on it. So people talk about PBG and SLF. What is the real difference in simple terms?
They are connected in the sense that mid-2021, the government moved away from what we call an IMB or a build permit, which was sufficient. There wasn't any SLF to it. But the build permit, the IMB, is now what we call a PBG. So that is your actual build permit. That should be processed and acquired prior to doing anything on the land. And people will argue it takes time, whatever. I think when I compare to my country, it's still fair.
How long does it take?
Again, it depends on what you feed the system with. But if you are in compliance in terms of what the system wants to see, in particular cosmetic outlook, technical, MEP structure, and so on, I would say 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
But if you have a lot of, circumventions and different drawings away from that, then you may find yourself that you or the consultant needs to go to the Public Build Ministry to explain, and it'll take longer. With the new PP28 that we talked about a little bit in the past, it should be a lot quicker because it'll issue it to you right away. Subject to obviously having, again, the sort of right drawings and aspects to it. Once you have that, you can go ahead and build. And when you are at a minimum of 80% completion or fully completed, you can apply for the SLF, which is then the activation code. So in SLF, there's a kind of a few different types of SLF. If it's for a residential house, it'll be for 20 years. If it's for a commercial property, and what we talked about before, the Airbnb and short-term rental, every 5 years you need to renew it.
That's the villa one.
Villa, resort, whatever.
How long does that take, the SLF process?
It shouldn't take long, but because everyone has kind of skipped the PBG, or not everyone, but a lot, there is a backlog on SLF, and there is some challenges on obviously HR and not enough people from PO to come and do the verification. So it may take quite a bit longer, 6 months, 12 months. I've heard about more, but I think then you get into a situation where there's actually something wrong in the whole application process, which very often it is, and why any developer, anyone who is in that situation should actually actively try to see what that is. So when you do a PBG application or an SLF, I know people say, oh, here is the barcode, you're all good. You should have access to that account so you can see what has actually been uploaded, technical drawings, MEP structure, whatever it is, and where the process is with the Public Build Ministry who issues that permit. And there may be letters, they will come to that account as well, and they've requested you to come. Maybe your consultant was too busy or you forgot about it, and that didn't happen, then that delays the process too. And sometimes I see quite a few PBG SLF consultants, they kind of keep that away from you.
Yeah.
And it's just an excuse because of what they have uploaded. It actually doesn't qualify, then don't want to tell you that, and they go and try to figure it out by themselves. So that transparency to see what goes on in the system and how the agent then deals with the different challenges should be something the developer is aware of and follows.
What if you're not happy with your current SLF permit guy? Can we move it over to, say, someone like Seven Stones if we wish to, or
we are not a certified PBG and SLF. We do it in-house, but obviously we cooperate with architects and MEP and structures, and we're happy to talk to anyone. But I think the key to this is that the account that is set up, you should be fully aware of what the password is. and you can access that at any time. We've had a few cases where that switch has happened for different reasons. But with a process, we can actually get that PBG SLF application back to the one that actually did it. So like the owner of the property will be able to open that account again and continue the process. But that is also where you get into all this. Is it the landowner? Is it, the PMA, or who is it that is actually applying for it?
Okay, so
But
you
again,
guys don't do it, but you will just introduce a partner of yours to the investor?
We manage the whole process.
Okay.
So you will deal only with us. We will deal with the third parties, whether that is an SKA approved MEP or whatever it is. And I guess the benefits of us or other agencies out there that does a good job as well is that we deal directly with public build ministry. So we will represent you into these conversations and make sure there is a good progress on what the ongoing challenge may or may not be.
For this SLF permit, I heard that you can only build 50% on the land if it's a pink zone. Is that correct?
So for a pink zone in almost all areas, the maximum footprint is 50. In some it's 60, but mostly 50%.
Okay. And so that means like 50%, even though some people are doing more, they're submitting like that they're doing less. Because I see a lot of villas that are like taken
I guess I've seen extreme cases up to very high percentages, and I also see more and more that because of the presence of the OSS taking more and more space in the governance of this, the public build ministry or BKPM eventually also needs to sign off on this. The SLF is actually, it just stops because it's too crazy. And again, that's why some developers that have had issues, they should actually verify what that process is. In the terms of an overbuild, if that is reasonable, and I can't really determine what is reasonable, whether it's 60% or 70%, there is a penalty tax that you pay on that, and you will still get your permits. But if it's like extreme, then it's difficult, and you will eventually need the approval from the Bupati in your regency, who will then also need to have a legal justification of that, which is not easy and obviously has additional costs.
The 50%, it doesn't include the pool area, around the pool area, the parking. Like
No,
it's
so-
the building footprint
Yeah.
of like the bottom floor should
So
be no longer than 50.
A pool will be included.
Okay.
And that's why, maybe you do the pool later. So it's part of the garden rather than, the application, little things like that to maybe have more justification.
50%,
but it should be the footprint of the building,
Wow. So the footprint of the building, 50% is like, that's the highest as well. That's at a pink zone level. Also, there could be restriction, like you can't build higher than 15 meters on a pink zone.
Normally it's 15 meters. In some it's 12, but mostly 15 meters.
And then now they introduced last year 2 trees to be present.
Oh, there's an awful long list of what you need for the SLF, the garden, setbacks. So there are.
And then the SLF guy came and started taking photos of fire extinguishers and started putting signage in the villas. And I was like, what is going on?
So it's a commercial SLF that then there is other compliance aspects that they look at, so that you have guests, something happens, there's a fire, how do people get out? Is there fire extinguishers? All of the aspects that I think we're used to from home comes in to actually qualify. There's one point that I see a lot, that you may be able to, push through an SLF for now, and it's not in accordance with what should be there. Don't forget that 5 years from now, you need to renew that, and there's other people sitting in the government office, and there may be stricter enforcement. So it's very important that you follow that PBG, then SLF
process
within the reasonable compliance or full compliance, if possible.
If you didn't follow it now and you're just doing the SLF process because you thought that was fine, how you said before it should like 12 to 18 months right now, the wait time on
Maybe
this
around
process?
12 months right now. But again, I think that the delay on that has many different aspects. It may be related with the public build ministry, but most cases there are other issues that you're not aware of, and you should verify those.
And there was all this rumor that you can't get any licenses on green zones because they put a pause on it. Is that just false information based on?
So green zones, I think that's confusing with the conversion of farming land. So that particular regulation to me is kind of the government saying that the existing regulations is now enforced by a regulation that says you should follow the old regulation, meaning that farming land shouldn't be converted or changed zoning. It doesn't mean
Uluwatu doesn't have farming land.
no,
It's
so
too
it's
dry.
like a rice field can be converted. Like I'm sure you hear now in
Yes.
certain areas, there is LSD
Yeah.
even put on tourism zone, both here, Lombok, and other places. But then also like to convert a farming land into a pink zone or a farming land into a yellow zone, what happens? You'll need to, if you are on farming land, you need to comply with the existing regulation of what it allows you to do in terms of footprint, KBLIs, business activity, and so on. But it's not a full stop. No.
No, you can still do it as long as you follow
Comply,
comply. Okay, so this whole permit process, in summary, is try to do the PBG now first. Not try, you must do the PBG first, and then the SLF process after that. So you submit like you would in any first world countries, your plans, this is what I intend to build, get the approval, and then build. And I see like professional companies now actually putting the PBG license at the front of their construction so that they're like, hey, we're fully in compliant in what we're doing, and here's the number at the top of it. And then you flow and go back and say, okay, I'm ready now. I've completed my building 80%, come and have a look at it. And then everything, this is the right way of doing development here, is
Correct.
this process. So that's the best way and that's the easiest way. If you've got who you want someone to manage that, you guys can manage it, and you'll work with external parties to do all the MEP and the architect work, even though you technically should have had that built and should be given to you, but you're always having to get someone to do that for you.
I think the benefits is, one, managing those three different components, two, the communication to the PO, and three, maybe the justification of prices and how much you actually pay for this.